Welcome, everyone. I'm Leslie Wooten. This conversation is part of Stove to Strategy series, where we explore how ideas evolve into real organizations. Today, we're joined by Heidi Stone, founder of Heidi Stone Hospitality, where she works closely with hotel owners and leadership teams, navigating growth, complexity, transformation. And really excited to hear how you've taken your ideas and turned them into a business. Heidi, how are you this morning?
I'm great, Leslie. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. It's a cool day down here in Texas. How's Virginia?
Well, we were in a snowstorm yesterday and now it's like 70 degrees. So, we'll take
Yeah,
it.
yeah, for sure. Thrilled about your story. I know we connected last week and talked about a few things, and it really sounded like something that I think a lot of people could benefit from. Not just future potential clients for you, but people who are trying to work through their own ideas. And I'd love to hear some of what you've done. I know that you've been able to step into some places where somebody might say, oh, that's impossible or that's too complicated. What is it about those situations that draws you in?
So, just a 30-second background on me.
Yeah.
Worked in destination resorts a long time, 35-year hotelier. Are drawn to those emotionally complicated places. And for instance, I was past 13 years at Mountain Lake Lodge, which was probably the most condemnable hotel 13 years ago, very run down, basically could have closed. And I came in as the Hail Mary to try to save the place. And so your question, why on earth are you attracted to those kinds of places? It's because everyone says they're impossible, right? Particularly the guys, right? Particularly the guys, they're, you can't do it. It can't be done. And, there's those of us out there that's kind of like you have drawn the line in the sand. And just because you say it can't be done, I think it can be. And coming to it with a very different background than a typical hotelier. Independent destination resorts are hard places. They can be very hard places to operate in. It's not easy. And so coming to those places and really bringing all of my skills, because it isn't just very straightforward. You have to be very creative. And if I can't be creative, I'm probably not happy. So I like creating things. And those places really require that extra layer of creativity, which I love. I love creating things and making things come alive that really were dead.
For sure. I love that. And those impossible moments, I don't know if somebody's thinking, oh, it's the economy that's bringing me down, or it's hiring that's bringing me down, it's operations, or I can't figure out this menu. Anything in there that you see as a particular opportunity that you are driven towards, what you can help an operator overcome?
Well, there's so many layers when you're talking about independent hotels or destination resorts. There's so many layers. And it's really any of those layers. I've done all of those layers. So maybe you're doing something really well in one area. Maybe your food and beverage operations are doing great, but this isn't working because overall, if one department fails, they all fail, right? I mean, that's just kind of how it goes. It's the whole nut. Right? It's all leadership alignment, your messaging alignment, your storytelling alignment. All of those things have to be aligned for a property, really for any business to work. It's all got to come together and be aligned. And I think where I approach things is because I've led a lot of those impossible type projects, is I see things that most people don't see. I can look at things and say, you have totally not, this is right under your nose and you have totally not activated this or uncovered this, and it's right in front of you and it doesn't require a multi-million-dollar investment. I think that's where I kind of come in.
I love that. It makes me think of, the best writers still have an editor. You can be in the weeds of something, you can be looking at something, you can be in your own business and think, this one thing that happened last Tuesday evening that's the thing that's bringing me down. And you get hyper focused on it. And then somebody might bring in somebody like you, has the mindset to be able to come in and evaluate everything and go, yeah, that might have been a problem. You're correct. But all of these things is what led to it. How do you go about hearing like an owner operator say, here's what my problem is, and being able to dissect that and determine maybe that's just a symptom of a bigger problem? How do you evaluate the bigger process and get them to understand that, hey, there's a lot more going on than that one thing that you saw?
So I do think where folks, they do tend to get hyper focused on one thing. And this is why I can't be successful. It's this one thing. And they really can't get over that. There's a couple answers to your question. One, when I come in, it's a holistic view, right? I'm going to listen and I'm going to hear you and we're going to go through that. But where I come in is the pause. I come in as the pause before you make a huge investment or you change management companies or you're about to put in multi-millions in rent. Let's pause, because I bet you no one has ever paused to take a step back to look at everything that is possible. And I think another thing that happens is people get, they kind of get sucked into whatever the negative thought is on what they don't have.
Sure.
They really get hyper focused on, because I don't have this, I can't be successful. And quick story, at Mountain Lake Lodge, there's no lake. Yes, I understand it's not, it's in the name, right? There's no lake. And they pretty much told me at the beginning, because we don't have a lake, we can't, it can never happen. And so what I did when I came in is like, okay, well, what do we have? We have a natural phenomenon that is sitting in the middle of the property. And I had the scientists that had researched it for the past 30 years. We put this amazing video together. We had people from the Smithsonian, people from Virginia Tech, and we put this amazing opportunity. You're lucky to see it this way, right? And when you turn it around, you turn the narrative around into what it is. Maybe it's not what you're seeing, but it's what it is. Then it becomes, oh my goodness, right? It's no longer a hurdle. So you're focusing on what people have and taking them fixated off of what they don't have.
I love that. You mentioned earlier the storytelling behind a business and being able to weave everything together, and that it's not a historical site. It's not a national preserve or a hiking area that you're talking about. You're talking about a hotel and operations with people and hospitality in it, and then you feature this other area. How do you weave all that in? And I think that's what you're getting to, and that's something that people need to just recognize is, here's what we have, here's what's going on, and here's how it flows into our hospitality. Does that go all the way through operations? How do you take something like a feature and make sure that that's seen throughout the organization? And then, because I'm always going for like the two-parters, how does that help a business grow?
Oh my goodness, there's a lot there to unpack, for sure. So I think that's where the pause comes in. I think we've all been a part of conversations and have been in businesses where performance is underwhelming, right? And what everybody wants to do when that happens is they quickly want the solutions.
Sure.
They immediately rush to the solutions. Okay, we need a new management company, or we need a reservation, a new whatever it is. We need a renovation. We need a market study. We need to change our position. Whatever. Everybody always wants to jump to the solutions, and they never pause and have someone come in that can again see the whole picture through a different lens. I think hoteliers tend to really buttonhole. Okay, we are going to evaluate a property by the STAR report and ADR and our marketing distribution. And they really just hone in on those things, but there's so much more to a hotel property than just those cut and dry things. There's all the soft stuff that's around, and it's how you weave in the story, and it's all the moments of truth, and when is the first moment of truth that a person has when they're touching your place. And there's just so many layers to it, but if all of that is aligned, If
Sure.
all of that is aligned, there's absolutely no way you will fail, and there's no way you can't grow if all that's aligned.
So you've got the vision. You've proven it before. You've gone in and be able to take that concept and turn it into operations successfully. How do you pivot that towards the owner as well? Because for you, I imagine you're going in and you're supporting the operations, but it's not. It's one thing to do it all yourself. How do you transfer some of that knowledge and that ability to the owners or the managers? How do you shift that leadership mindset that you have towards somebody else?
Sure. So really, I come in to work for the owner. I can work with management companies. Some management companies have a few independents and it's not really their thing. And I can come in there, but really I want to work with the owner. And I'm an independent voice. I complement what the management company is doing, but I'm there as an independent person. I don't, which an independent voice is usually what's needed in these situations, right? I'm not getting a check from the management company. I'm simply there for what the owner wants to have happen, which is make it more successful and make more money. And maybe even position the asset so it is more profitable for at some point for sale. You want the most of it positioned that way, but it's working directly with the owner. And I'm coming in as a help. I'm not coming in to criticize. I'm coming in to enhance what you're already doing. I'm there as a cheerleader, right? I'm not there to, I'm only there to enhance what people are already doing and help them, because if everybody's making more money, everybody's happier, right?
we echo the same thing, that we go in and our job is to audit and evaluate what the root cause is of something. And every once in a while we get a client or a future client or even somebody that we're talking to that just thinks that we're insulting their business. It's like, no. We need to point out what's going wrong. Is it the economy's fault? Is it your fault? Is it the industry's fault? It doesn't matter, but we're going to identify where that is and help you through it. And so, we've got these owners who are passionate about something, and even though they're willing to call on a consultant, sometimes they're not ready to hear it. But we've got to work through that. And just talking to you, working with you over the past, I think, 3 or 4 years, I've seen you everywhere around in Virginia. So I've always loved that. Just so approachable, so well-intentioned that I think anybody who might have something going on is going to think, okay, Heidi's going to be able to tell me what's going on, and it's up to me to swallow my pride and be able to go, okay, I'm ready to work through this. So for potential clients out there, who are you looking for? What's the best way to get a hold of you, and what's your ideal client? Who could we help reach out to?
Sure. So owners of independent properties, right? Whether you do or don't have a management company, I've worked with both. It's totally fine, but I'm working for the owner. The independent property is probably 80 to 200-ish rooms. The big resorts, they have such an intense infrastructure. They don't need me, right? I'm looking for that mid-size where you're a little lost and you need some help just finding your way. I would encourage folks to go to my website. I've written a lot of my philosophy. You can find out how I think. And there's field notes on there, stuff from the field. So HeidiStoneHospitality.com is how you find me. My email address is on there. I've got a lot of industry information and things on there that I think would be, you can check me out before you even have to talk to me. So.
Absolutely love it. Thanks for sharing your time with me. I've loved being able to hang out with you the past few years, and thankful for these few minutes here. Thanks for sharing your story. I think it's going to be inspirational to a lot of people, and hopefully there's somebody out there that says, Heidi can come help me, and I would vouch for you all day long. So call Heidi, let her know what you got going on, and buckle up, because she's going to let you know where the issues are, but then she's going to help you through that as well. So thank you so much, Heidi.
Thank you. Thank you, Leslie.
Have a wonderful week.